Today we live in a fast-paced world, with high-speed connections, food to go, and products designed to be replaced easily. We're far removed from many of the struggles and triumphs previous generations experienced. But the distance between today and 100 years ago is not impassable. Come along as we explore our connection with our history through an institution often taken for granted, the Small Town Museum. Daily life from previous generations has been preserved through the efforts of volunteers committed to rescuing the objects of the past. These museums offer just a glimpse into what life was like for early generations in Eastern Washington. And they are so much more than just a collection of objects. Though the items on display may be similar, each museum has its own unique story and identity. For our final stop, we'll head northeast to the farming community of Ritzville. Ritzville is home to a number of historic locations, including its downtown, the Carnegie Library, and 2 museums. The museums are made possible through the efforts of the Ritzville Museum volunteers. First, we'll visit the Railroad Depot Museum. The depot's office remains the same today as it was during the height of train travel.
This is a completely restored telegraph office. All the parts are here. We even have a resident telegrapher. We call him LR. And he comes in, he's an 800 number now on the telephone, but he still will send telegraphs. We have, like at Christmas time, he sends telegraphs to Santa. When we have visitors come in, like, oh, there was one up here the other day, he was waiting to send. A couple came in and wrote it out and left it here, and he calls somebody, and then they call somebody, and they call somebody, and it eventually gets to them. We don't have a delivery system anymore like we used to, but it eventually gets to who you want it to, and it's kind of exciting to receive those phone calls.
The men's waiting area now contains a section dedicated to the local school. One of the museum's prized possessions is a horse-drawn hearse. In the ladies' waiting area, you'll find exhibits dedicated to various local medical practices, as well as historic photographs. Outside the depot, a restored Northern Pacific Railroad caboose stands proud. The restoration of this caboose was done solely through the efforts of the museum volunteers. Across town, you'll find the ancestral home of Dr. Frank Burroughs.
To the Frank R. Burroughs home and museum. This is the main parlor. It was the home was built in 1889 and expanded in 1902. That's where this beam came from. And it was previously a porch, and now it was expanded parlor. They say that whenever you test a pocket door that tells you how good the house is, and these pocket doors still work. So we're real pleased with how this house is held up. The wallpaper in the living room or the main parlor and the small parlor are original. This is a reproduction. We had some water damage in the home over the years. This is a pass-through to the pantry behind here. And the dinner bell. The Burroughs did have one maid who cooked and waited on the Burroughs family. More rocking chairs. This is Dr. Burroughs' office. It's kind of dark in here. This is the collection of his equipment. He had an office downtown where he saw patients on a regular basis. However, he maintained this office as a business office as well as seeing patients at night. Over here on the wall, Dr. Burroughs was known for delivering babies. It's said that he delivered over 3,000 babies in Adams County over the years.
From the train depot to a family home, Ritzville's museums are an excellent opportunity to travel back in time to the boom era of the region. These museums are living treasures, not just for the pieces stored in them, but the lives connected to them. The volunteers and staff who make them run bring a wealth of local history to life, illustrating how much our connection with our history is not fueled simply by objects, but by our connections with each other.